What's up, guys? Welcome back to PNL Live, where I am documenting my day trading journey. Last time I left off, I got into an XRP long position the day before the very first North American XRP spot ETF went live. I was expecting a whole lot of inflows. Maybe not a whole lot of inflows, but I was expecting some inflows to where I'd be able to make a pretty decent profit on a nice swing trade. But we didn't really see those inflows. I don't know if it's because the spot XRP ETF in Canada just didn't have a whole lot of interested parties, or if it was because everybody's still holding onto their purse strings because of the conflict going on in the Middle East. I don't know. But I jumped into it last time we talked. I wasn't even really too concerned about my entry. And then I kind of backtrack that, which for good reason, because even though you're planning on getting into a swing trade, you should always, at least from my experience, I was thinking that I should probably still try to find a good entry, even though I was planning on holding it for a couple days. So I got out of the position because I got a crappy position. I got back into a better position, and it's kind of just been stagnant the last couple days. XRP's just kind of been sitting at like 214 to 217. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is it's kind of at its local high over the last few days is about 217. Um, Still underneath that resistance of like 218 or so. And before that, we ended up getting into a really good trade because it was bouncing off of that local resistance at 218. I saw it making higher lows, bouncing off of that resistance. We got into a position. Sure enough, it spiked straight through that resistance. It went up to like 228, and I ended up taking profits at like $400. And since then, it consolidated back below that resistance, and that was when we got the news. I got into it, and it hasn't really done anything at all. We didn't get the inflows. At least maybe we did. I don't know. But it sure isn't showing it in price action. So we're just kind of sitting here. It's been about 2 days since I got back into my position. I think I got in at like 2 4. I got a better position in at like 214. It's at like 217. I got in like 214.5, something like that. So right now I'm maybe up like $30 over the last like 2 days. Let's see here. Yeah, now I'm up 14. I've been ranging from no profit to about $30 profit. I was expecting it to break through that resistance again because of those XRP ETFs, just because it was the very first XRP spot ETF in North America. But it ended up not going how I thought it was going to. So I'm still in the green. I unless we get we just passed, the U.S. just passed stablecoin regulation with the Genius Act. So I was expecting one of those catalysts to be able to get some nice inflows, but neither of them have really affected the price action. So it's sitting above the VWAP. It's sitting above the exponential moving average that I have set at 100. It's starting to dip down on the RSI, being oversold. We're going to see if it stays above this VWAP and see if it stays above this exponential moving average and it starts trading above it. Over the last like day or so, it's kind of been trading right in the middle of this RSI. So maybe we could start getting some uptrends. I'm still going to hold this position, but I just wanted to update you guys on where my long XRP position was looking at. I got in it $10,000 contract at 50x leverage, which puts me at risking about $500, which is a little bit. I generally fluctuate between 20x leverage and 50x leverage. And this is futures trading. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for anybody that wants to play along. We are still in the position. We're still in the position of trying to turn a demo account, turning a $2,000 demo account into a $10,000 demo account before we can start making some real greenbacks, and making a real account. So for right now, we're just kind of trending along. So I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you guys know where I'm standing. I'm probably still going to keep this open. Yeah, so I'm probably still going to keep this open just because it's been ranging. From about no profit to about $100, dipping low. I have not set a stop loss, which I probably should, but I haven't set a stop loss. Um, I probably will now, just because of where everything is at with the Middle Eastern war. It seems like things are escalating, so I don't want to dip all the way down to like. I think if I get down to like, if XRP gets down to like 210, it'll kick me out of my position and I'll lose 500. I'll lose the full 500 contract. So I don't necessarily want to do that. So I'm gonna stick my stop loss somewhere around 213, I think. Um, that way I don't get canceled out of it, because I do still see it fluctuating back up. Because I didn't really want XRP to be that position, that asset that I generally stick to, but this chart is just so resilient. It always ends up fluctuating back and forth between like 230 and 215, which is still a really good range if you have 50x or 20x leverage. So there's a huge buy wall at the lower prices. So that's why I felt pretty comfortable keeping my stop loss pretty tight. Or I shouldn't say pretty tight. I should say keeping my stop loss pretty loose. But I'm right after I get done with the stream, I think I'm probably gonna end up sticking my stop loss, probably back up a little bit further than where it was. Right now, my stop loss is sitting at like $2, or it's sitting at like, I don't know. I think it was. I gotta check here. Hold on. My stop loss is sitting. Actually, I don't even have a stop loss set up right now, which is terrible habit to get into. But and that was only because I didn't see my contract really getting closed out at like 210, 209. But with everything going on, it seems like it's been escalating over the last couple days, everything in the Middle East. And then with the stablecoin regulation and Tether possibly getting kicked out of the stablecoin, of the Western stablecoin milieu, simply because it's going to have a window. I mean, I don't project there being a black swan anytime soon, just because after the Genius Act just got passed in the U.S., I'm sure that they're probably going to give a window for all of these other stable coins that aren't compliant to get compliant. So I'm sure we still have a window, but I'm still going to set my stop loss back because I currently do not have a stop loss. It's just been ranging from negative 100 to about $30 in the green, $40 in the green. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I definitely see Tether either causing a real quote unquote black swan event to happen, simply because Bitcoin is pegged to Tether. So if Tether does get kicked out of this stablecoin milieu, it's definitely going to cause issues for Bitcoin falling, which if Bitcoin falls, everything else is going to fall with it. So yeah, now that the Genius Act is passed as of yesterday, it's definitely anyone's guess as to where this market is going to be going over the next few weeks. We have Swift changing its regulations next month, July sometime. I think July 14th or July 17th is when Swift changes its messaging standard into the ISO 20022 messaging standard to include specific digital assets. And on the Swift website, if you look, it shows that they're going to be using Ripple's Interledger protocol. So that's going to be good news for Ripple specifically. I don't know if it's going to be great news for XRP. We'll just have to see. Depending on where I'm at, I'm probably going to end up putting another long position in right before that messaging standard goes completely live. I'm going to have to check to see if that's only for FedNow or if that is for the entire Swift. If that's for all banks that are attached to the Swift messaging standard. I don't remember. I think it was just FedNow was going live with ISO 20022 in July in the United States, and then after that, I think it was in November that Swift was going to be going live worldwide. But then again, Swift has always been saying that over the last half decade or so, that okay, this November we're going live, and then they just kind of push the goalpost back. So we're just gonna have to see. But either way, the inflows were not as big as I thought it was gonna be for this very first North American spot XRP ETF. So it's just kind of been chopping around sideways. Which it has a pretty good habit of doing, consolidating wise. XRP, it's got a huge buy wall up at the $2-ish range. So I don't want to get kicked out of my position because of everything that's going on. So I'm going to set a stop loss. But I just wanted to update you guys on where I'm at. I'm still going to keep my position open. I got in at like 214 or so. So I just wanted to update you guys on what's going on and hold myself accountable. I haven't checked out any other markets. I've been super busy. So, but if I do find something else, I'm still working on a screener. So as soon as I end up finding the best parameters to create my own screener, because I really don't want indicators telling me when to buy and when to sell. I really want to create my own parameters and create my own screeners and adjust it as I see fit, depending on my strategy. So as soon as I get that live, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I'm gonna stop the stream here and I'll check in with